Hello class, this is your teacher Mr. McDougall with your first project of our classroom. This is going to be our final work for Unit 1, Getting Started, and we're going to create a mood board together using Adobe Express. So this is going to wrap up the Getting Started before we move on to the next unit and actually start creating some fun art-related projects of graphics. So what you're going to do here is we're actually going to create a mood board similar to the example I provided, and you're going to set it as your desktop background. So by default, your desktop background might be this landscape or whatever the current operating system background is, but we're going to change it to be our mood board. So this is an example of what my mood board looks like. Yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine, but I'm going to show you how to create something like this. We're going to have photos and colors as our inspiration, because throughout the trimester, there's going to be times where we get stuck creatively. We're not sure what to take pictures of or what to design or how we feel, and we can refer back to this whenever we need to for some quick inspiration. So let me show you how we're going to do it. The first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to write some stuff down. So we're going to write some stuff down. You can do it one of two ways. If you like to write with paper and pen or pencil, you can do that. Take out a pen or pencil or a piece of paper if you want to write down with hand, or if you want to just do it on a Google Doc, you can do it that way as well. So if you're going to do the Google Doc version, click on your Google Apps and go to Docs, and let's click on a blank document right here. So click on the blank document. The very first thing whenever you create a new document is to give it a name. Otherwise, it's default as untitled. And if you never name your documents, you're going to have 100 docs that all are called untitled, and you're not going to know what's what. So let's call it Mood Board Inspiration. This is just part of the getting started. So don't worry about the presentation of this, but I just want you to name it so you have an idea of where to find it. And we're just going to write down a few words in a quick list. So let's use this list tab up here where it says numbered list. If your window is smaller, like this, and you can't see it, click on these three dots right here. Click on three dots, and then you'll see the numbered list right here. But if you spread out your window, which I highly recommend, I recommend having your windows nice and big, makes it a little bit easier. You can click numbered list like that. All right. So whether you're doing this on a Google Doc like I am, or if you're just writing it on paper, we're going to take a quick second. And the beauty of this demo video that I'm showing you is you can pause along the way if you are not finished with each step, because I want you to take your time with each of these steps. And this first step is we're going to think about the words that inspire us. So the first thing I want you to do, close your eyes, just close them up, relax, take a big deep breath. Let's slow it down for just a quick second. Whatever we got on our mind, let's relax. Take one more deep breath. And now, as your eyes are closed, I want you to think about the first words that come to mind that inspire you. Think about inspiration when you're creating something. If you're ever just listening to music or creating art, or you want to have fun, what inspires you to have a good time or to make something a fun memory? What drives you each day? And again, just write down the first words that come to mind, even if they don't make sense. So if you can't think of anything, take another breath and try to write down at least 10 words. So whatever words come to mind, I'm just going to start writing words that come to me. Night, weddings, forest, sports, things that are fun, fall, green, sunset. And then if you get stuck, if you can't think of anything, try again. Do it a couple more times. Maybe nothing's coming to mind. It's okay. Take another deep breath, close your eyes, and just try one more time. If you get a list of 50 words, that's fine. Just write down whatever nonstop. But get at least 10. And again, it could be anything that means something to you. Maybe you like baseball, or maybe you like a certain TV show, or anything. Maybe it's a season. Maybe it's coffee. Maybe it's a holiday. Maybe it's your family. Whatever it is, these are going to be your inspirations when you're taking your pictures or creating your art. So let's say lights, cars, street, whatever it is. Again, get at least 10, even if they don't make sense or they seem contradictory to each other. If you have nighttime and daytime in the same list, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Maybe you have nature and then downtown in the same list. Okay, it's fine. It does not matter. Just write your list. Again, take a deep breath and think about the first 10 words that come to mind. And keep doing this until you get a nice list. And again, if you're not there yet, if we're moving too fast, pause the video, and keep trying, because now we're going to move on to the next step. So once you have your list, you're going to pick 4 to 5 words that really stand out to you. So now look at your list and figure out which of these words really stand out, and then we're going to either bold them or highlight them to make them stand out. Or if you're writing on paper, maybe underline them or circle them or something on your paper to stand them out. So let's see, like night. You can highlight the word and then click this B for bold. So now you see it's bolded. Or if you want it to stand out, you can highlight it and click this little highlighter and then pick a color. Now it's highlighted. Again, pick a couple that really stand out to you. Maybe weddings stands out, sports. Again, whatever you think is fun. At least 4 or 5. If you have a couple more, that's okay. Don't highlight all 10, but just pick some that are cool. All right, I got about these 5 that really resonate with me. I think these are I have the strongest connection to. And again, this is personal to you. Your list is probably going to be completely different from mine, and that's totally okay. So now that you have your words, think about ways you can combine some of these into descriptions, because now we're going to search for images that match these descriptions online so we can find some reference photos. So we're going to take these and see which ones can be combined into short phrases. Maybe like nighttime weddings or nighttime sports or night lights or something like that. Maybe there's a way I can combine these. Let's just say, so I have like nature, forest. Let's do like sunsets in nature. Something like that. It doesn't have to be a full sentence. They're going to be just short, searchable phrases that we can search on Google. Maybe sports at night, forest, weddings. Not sure. Again, whatever you are, whatever comes to you. Try to get at least 3 things that you can search based on this list. And again, if you're struggling, maybe start over. Come up with a new list. Try this again. If you're not resonating with any of these 10 words, then start over from scratch until you get it right. Okay? And again, if you're not ready to move on past this, if you don't have your 3 phrases, pause this video, and then you can join us when we move on to the next step right now. So now we are going to search these to try and find images for our mood board. So let's take this first one. I'm going to copy it, highlight it, and then right-click on your mouse or trackpad and do copy, or Command-C is the copy as well. And we're going to come up to a new tab, and we're going to paste it. Right-click and do paste, or Command-V to paste. And then we're going to search. So let's look for images. We don't need to share our location. We want to find images that will work for us. So we're going to click on some until we find some that are good. So as you're clicking on them, one thing I really want you to pay attention to is these numbers down here. So when you click on an image, you'll see it pops up on the right side over here. We haven't talked about resolution yet, but we will start talking about it later in the trimester. When you hover your mouse over a picture, you'll notice there's some numbers down here. It has a number times another number. And don't worry, we're not doing any kind of math right now. I will explain what resolution and aspect ratio is later on. But right now, this just means the resolution or the image quality of the photo. So right now it looks okay, but as it's small, we're going to make the photo blown up. And if these numbers are too small, the picture is going to look bad. It's going to look really pixelated and kind of like Minecraft, all squared up. We don't want it to look like that. We want it to look nice and sharp. So rule of thumb with these numbers, this one says 600 times 300. This is too small. I would say make sure these numbers are at least above 800. So I wouldn't go any lower than 800. You can go higher than that, but don't go any lower. So this one is 6 and 300. That's too small. Let's find another photo that might work. Maybe this one. See, this one's really good. This one's going to work. This one's 2000 by 1200. This one's plenty big. So I can try something like this. Let me right click. So to save it, you're not going to copy it and put it on your dock. That is not what we're going to do. So make sure that's not what you're doing. You're going to right click on the photo and do save image as. We're going to download it. So right click and do save image as, and then click save. So that's going to download our photo into our downloads folder. So if I open up my Finder, go to my downloads folder, I could see that it's been downloaded. Mine's not organized. Let's just go by date created. There it is, right here. So here is my image that I just downloaded. And one thing that you need to keep in mind is make sure the end of it, there's going to be a couple letters at the end. Make sure it says either JPG or PNG. If it's anything else, it's not going to work. So maybe I'll try this one. This one also looks pretty good. I can download this one, save image as, and just as you save it, double check what type it is. So I could already tell this one's not going to work. If I go back and open my files again, see this one I just downloaded, this says web. This will not work, so I can't use this one. I can use this one because it's a JPEG. So just pay attention whenever you download a photo. Look at the end of the name right here, and it needs to say either JPG or PNG. If it says web like this or anything else, it will not work. I can't upload this to Google or the Adobe files because it's not going to work. It's only a web file. It's not a picture file. So try to find some that work. Download at least 10 images, and you can use your other phrases as well. So that was a good sunset one. Let's try maybe sports at night. Let's try a couple like that. I'm going to Command C to copy it. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to Command V to paste and then search. Let's do sports at night. See what else I can find that may or may not work. This one's pretty cool. However, again, this one's too small. Really cool shot, but it's too small. 600 by 300. That's not going to work. It's going to be too low resolution. Maybe this cool soccer one. And this one's a little too low as well. And this is part of the search. You just have to keep going until you find something. This one's better, 1200 by 800. I could do this one. Right click, save image as. Save. That's JPEG, perfect. I can see right here, JPEG, so this one will definitely work. Perfect. So once you've downloaded at least 10 images or so, and again, it could be a random assortment. So right here I have like different kinds of sunsets, nature. These are other ones that I downloaded. Here's some more sports at night, something like that. Take all the photos that you downloaded, save them in a new folder in your Intro to Graphics folder. Just like we did in the opening practice assignments, we did our exercise files, our Adobe Express files from the previous assignment. Remember, we save these in our Intro to Graphics folder. Go to the Google Drive, the My Drive, your Intro to Graphics folder, and we need to make a new folder so this doesn't live in our downloads folder. We don't want it to stay there. If you just don't move your files out of your downloads folder is going to get really filled up really quickly, and it's going to be a hot mess. We don't want that to happen. We want everything to be organized. So in your Intro to Graphics folder, make a new folder, and this one is going to be called Mood Board. So now let's take our files and move them in there. So I'm going to grab all these files, select all of them, and I'm going to drag them so they're in here. Yes. Move them into our Google Drive. Remember, we've synced our Google Drive, synced it to the computer right here. So anything that we save on the computer will still be saved in our Google Drive as well. So here's some files that I downloaded. Again, make sure you download about 10 or so. And then we're going to come up and start putting them in Adobe Express. So this is the one we just used in the previous assignment for the generative AI poster. Make sure you've bookmarked it. If you haven't bookmarked it, go back to your Adobe Creative Cloud and find it to open it again. And we're going to create a new file. So let's go to over here to this big plus button, click new, and we're just going to do a landscape right here by this default one because we're going to have it fit our desktop background, as I said. So it must be landscape, which means it's long and stretched out from left to right like this. Not portrait, not a vertical one, should be landscape, just like I did right now. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to upload our photos here. So click on this upload over here on this side, and we're going to find our files. So in our Google Drive, make sure we moved them to our Google Drive. Nope, not there. Mine is right here, Intro to Graphics, Mood Board. All right, there it is right there. So we're going to take all our photos that we downloaded and open them up. They're all going to pop up in one place. That's okay. Don't worry about it. You can shrink the size for right now. We're just going to keep them off to the side for this first part, and then we'll start moving them around. So again, you can move them. You'll see they're all layered on top of each other. You're only going to put about 4 or 5 on here. So I know you downloaded 10, but now you got to select your top 4 or 5. These ones look a little too small, so I think I'll just delete those for right now. Keep these 5. That looks good. And you can rearrange them however you want. Right now I'm just moving them around a little bit, giving myself some space. But in a second I'll give you time to move them around. And you see how they stacked on top of each other? See how this one's on top of this one? You can change that order as well over here on this side. So if I take this one, I move it all the way to the top. Now it's on the top. So now it's underneath this one. So this football one, if I want that one on top, I move it up. Now this is the very top photo. So you can rearrange the layers here to shift them around a little bit. But we'll get into that in just a second. I'll give you time to play with it. There's a couple more things I want you to add, and then you'll have the rest of the time to decorate it and put it together. All right, so now we're going to add some circles and some colors, and these are going to be our color inspiration, just like I have in my example right here. So here's my example. We're going to do something like this. We're going to create some colors and some numbers for these color codes. So before we get on to that, let's do another step that I almost forgot. We are going to retitle this as well. Just like we did with the doc, if you don't title stuff, it's going to stay as untitled, and we don't want that. So click over here, select the whole thing, and just put your name mood board. Use your first name. I'm going to use my last name since I'm your teacher. But put your first name mood board as the title. All right. So next, we are going to add some little circle shapes. So to do that, come over here to where it says elements on this left side. And again, if you don't see all this stuff because your menu is squished like mine, give yourself some more space. Drag your window out. Make it as big as you can. It makes it a lot easier to see. It's harder when your screen is really small. So let's go to elements, and we're going to look for a circle. So come up here where it searches and search circle. And be careful which one you choose right here. You're going to choose from the shapes and not the icon one. This is just a ring. It's not a circle. So over here on the shapes, you can scroll with your mouse to the side till you find one of these two circles right here. It does not matter which one because we're going to change the color anyway. So I'm just going to do the gray one. Click on that. Bring that one over here. If I do the icon one, that's not correct. So if I click on that one, you see this one is just a ring. That's not what we want. We want a filled in circle like this. Okay. So now I'm going to rearrange the size. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because I'm going to have 5 of these circles in total. So I'm just going to make it smaller for now. And again, you can always change it later. So once you've clicked on the circle, click duplicate 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 5 circles. And then again, spread them out however you want. Does not matter for right now because you can always rearrange them in a second. I'm just going to start moving mine around. Let's say like that for right now. That's okay. And again, we can always move them later. You see in my example right here, they're all in a line, but feel free to mix and match. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add colors to these circles that are going to be your inspirational colors. So if you go back to the assignment, you'll see there is a link right here that says Coolors. This is a really neat website called Coolors, which randomly generates colors. So you'll see probably a pop-up like this. You can accept or manage the cookies. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to reject them. We don't need them. See this pop-up, all that stuff. We're going to come over here to Start Generator. Click on Start Generator. You'll see this. If you click Let's Go, be careful because it's going to start seizuring out, and I don't want anything to trigger it, so just hit this X to close it. So what this is a random color generator. So if you tap your spacebar on your computer, and please just tap the spacebar, please do not slam it or hit it really loud repeatedly over and over again because we don't need to hear that. Just gently tap it. Every time you tap the spacebar, it's going to randomly generate 5 colors. What I want you to do is keep generating until you find 5 different colors that resonate with you. Maybe I like this dark blue right here. This dark blue is really cool. So if you find a color that you like, or once you do find a color that you like, you're going to come over here. It does have a name, but we're not going to copy the name. We're going to copy this code right here. So if I click on this 6-digit number, it's going to have a hex code, this entire code right here. I'm going to right-click and copy that code. Copy. See, it's this specific blue pixel right there. So I'm going to come back to my mood board, click on the first circle. Doesn't matter which one. You can always change it. But I'm going to click on the circle, and then I'm going to come over here to where it says Fill on the color. See how by default it's gray? But I'm going to click Fill, and we're going to put in a new color. It's going to have some recommended colors, but let's go to Custom. And this is the same pixel color thing right here. I could choose whatever color I want. I can come over here and slide it, but I want that exact dark blue that I saw. And the way to get that exact dark blue is to paste that number right here. So select this whole thing for the hex code. Make sure you select the whole thing, including the little hashtag symbol, and we're going to paste that code right there and then hit return. Now it puts that exact shade of dark blue right there. That exact one with that code, the 03256C, that's what it put right here. So that exact shade of blue has been placed. Perfect. After you've done that, paste it again over here on the board. Come to the board and then paste. Allow. That's okay. So now we have that number again. Keep the number near the circle so they're together, so you know this number belongs to this color. So now I know. Again, you can keep it sideways. You can put it on top. You can put it across. Whatever works for you, but just keep them next to each other so we know this belongs to this. And then do the same thing for the other 4 colors. So let's do another one right here. You can come back. You can hit spacebar and generate more colors. Whatever works for you. Find just the colors that speak to you. Well, this one's cool. This claret color. I like that. Copy. Click on it and then copy. Again, you can right click and copy, or you can do Command C for copy. Come over here. And then for this circle, same thing, fill. When you go to the custom, you could see as I scroll my mouse through all these colors, see how this number's changed down here? This is pixel resolution. If you zoom in on this color palette, you'll see that there's actually trillions and trillions and trillions of little microscopic pixels right here that make up this entire color code. And believe it or not, every single one of those trillions and trillions of pixels has its own specific 6-digit hex code. That's why we want to find specific ones, and we're going to paste it right there, hit enter, and now I have again that exact shade of that cool claret red. And then let's paste again so I have the number to go with it. And you can put these wherever you want. And again, feel free to move them around. Maybe I want them in a line. Maybe I like it like that. I don't know. This is where you get to explore. So again, just like mine, as an example, feel free to start moving and decorating these in a layout that works for you, because this is going to be your desktop background, so you're going to look at it a lot. Make sure it's pleasurable to your eye. Take your time on it. Maybe I want to move this one. And just like we did with the generative AI, feel free to explore and play. Remember we talked about play in art? Take your time and really explore what it has to offer. Maybe there's some other things like these design assets right here. Check out what these elements and these other preset things are. If I add this to it, that's pretty cool. I can add it right there. Maybe I put it in the corner. Right now it's on top, but remember layer order, I could bring it down to the bottom. Now it's behind all these things. So maybe I can move that there, move that there. That's pretty cool. And this is where you get to really shine and explore. See, now I already got a cool design. You can even change the color of the background. By default, it's white, but if I click on the background and change background color, again, you could even pick another color that you want to use, and now that's the color of the background. So take your time, have fun, put more words on here, use the words from your list. And you can see in my example right here, some of the words I put, like warm, weddings, landscapes, other things that inspire me in this particular list. Put those words here. Have fun. Make it inspirational to you. Again, this is something you're going to look at when you get stuck throughout the trimester. If you can't figure out what to write down or what to take pictures of or what colors to use in your design, you can refer back to this and make sure you really like looking at this thing. You can play with it. So take your time, get it to where you want it, adjust the sizes, mess around with these other things over here, look at also the other text and the other elements that it has to offer, and just have some fun with it, okay? So to turn it in, let me explain how you're going to turn it in. Once you've completed your layout of the entire thing, again, obviously mine's not done, but I'm just going to jump ahead so you can see how to turn this in. You're going to download it first. You're not going to turn in your download. There's a couple things you need to do. First, download it. Leave it as a PNG. That's fine. PNG, and then click download. It should take just a second. So you're not going to turn in what you just downloaded. First, you're going to set it as your background. So in order to do that, let me minimize everything for a second. Minimize all this. Okay, so on your desktop background, you're going to go to your little system settings. Click here. And then on the settings on the left, scroll down until you find wallpaper. Click on wallpaper. And by default, it's on the horizon or one of these other ones. Click add photo and then choose. And then go to your downloads folder. Mine needs to be reorganized. There it is right here. Here's my mood board that I just downloaded. So click on that. And now you can see this is your desktop background. Perfect. So to turn it in, I want you to take a screenshot of this. So remember, in order to take a screenshot, I need to close this first. The easiest way to do it to take the entire screen is hold Command and then Shift and then 4 and then spacebar. Command Shift 4 spacebar. So now you'll see when you have Command Shift 4 spacebar, you have this little camera icon, and whatever you click on, we did this when we did the setting up your computer, if I just click on my background, it will take a screenshot of my background. So now I can go to my files and I can see my screenshots right here. Oh, never mind. That only takes a screenshot of your icons. My mistake. Hang on. There it goes. I had the wrong thing selected. I took a picture of this. Make sure you take your correct picture. That's the correct one. That's the one I wanted to do. So here's my screenshot. There we go. So see, this is the screenshot of the desktop as your background, just like that. Okay. So now that you've taken your screenshot of your desktop background, this is what you're going to turn in. So attach the screenshot to your Google Classroom assignment. So if you go back to the assignment now, and you come up here where it says add or create, click the add or create button, and then upload your screenshot, and then you will be good to go. Okay? Again, let me know if you have any questions or get stuck. I'd be happy to help you. Have fun creating, and then we will move on to our next unit.